And we are live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the spaceship. Welcome to Spaceship. And this is a late night special, and you could be watching from anywhere around the country or the world, and I really appreciate that. And what I'll be doing is I'll be doing the game and talking about different things, and happy Easter season and Holy Week to all people, and those that don't celebrate it, happy holidays to you. Alright, so now I will switch it over so people can see me. Alright. There we go. Alright, here I am. Hello, everybody. I hope everybody has been having a great week, and the interesting things have been going on with the trials. Also, they're going to be off tomorrow, and I'll be streaming tomorrow as I usually do. And without further ado, we're going to start the game. Alright. Make sure this is all done right. That's not what I meant to do. I meant to do this. Alright. Okay. Hello, Rebecca. And hello, Shecky. Good to see you both. It's fantastic to see y'all here. Alright, I'm about to start the game. Okay, here we go. And let's see, the game starts. It was being a little bit... It might take a moment to start, but it's going to do its thing. Alright. And... yeah, hello to you both. I'm glad that y'all are here, and I hope that y'all had a good day and a good... today where I am, the weather was very nice. But it may not be like that everywhere. And... let's see, so... it is, it's right now where I am, it's Good Friday where I am, and that is, reflecting on the crucifixion of Jesus and the resurrection, and, that's going on holiday-wise, and now the no trials tomorrow. Now, I do remember a Friday where there was trials last year, but it could have been the day before. But I thought it was, they had one on Friday. But this time, there's going to be no trials. As I said, I'll be going live tomorrow as well, of course. And now the game is loading, doing its thing. Okay. Alright. Alright, now we're going to do... let's see. We got one of the pirates in the game talking to me. Alright. Was this one of the pirates? Let's go to this pirate friend. Let's see. Oh, thank you, Rebecca. I'm glad to hear about that. I really appreciate that. Alright, so now I'm on the Allies. This is an ally of mine. This is a ship that they have. We're over here. So last time I met a group of pirates, and now we are... I helped them with their crew. And they're a cool group of people. I have a couple of different friends in here, but this group, I think they also believe in God. That was very cool to see. Just randomly met some fellow believers, and we had a good time with each other. So yeah, I enjoyed it, and I think this is the group, one of them, which I'm quite certain about that. And they winked at me when I got in here and said, all right, so we're going to go in here. So, yeah. So now I'm repairing their ship. Okay. And also, Rebecca, I'm glad that you admire the channel and the, you like the merch I have there and stuff. It's very cool. Thank you. All right. So, trial wise, as I said last time, Monica Cementelli was found guilty, and it was satisfying to see her squirm after what she did to Fabio. And this time, what we did was this other trial. The other trial that's going on, which there's the bathtub murder trial, and the dude's a complete clown. And also Lori Daybell is going on too. And yeah, so the bathtub murder trial, I focused on it, but not as much. But today and yesterday, I focused more on that one. And yeah, he wasn't there, but he was there, and he remembers, but he doesn't. But he doesn't remember, but he remembers certain details. Yeah, a complete fool. Yeah, completely foolish. I just don't understand why people do stuff like like that, and then they have to deal with the consequences later. And the defendant in the bathtub trial was the bathtub. She was very calm, and he was trying to say why he and his partner both brought in money. It wasn't just him, and he was bringing a couple $100 a week. That's what he was trying to say. And then what he did was and then the prosecutor was getting very triggered at him and started yelling at him, and people thought he may have been overreacting, but the dude was like real emotional about it, the prosecutor, and he kept on having to get a call to the bench. And yeah, the PCP. So he was saying he was smoking PCP, and he had his problem, and it's like, yeah, that must be the new thing. That must be the new thing to do, because people keep on. They did bath salts, and it looks like PCP is brought them to another state of mind. So that was quite wild. And also tomorrow, it'll be interesting to see what the others think about that as well when I bring that up to them, those that come. And Lori Daybell didn't bring any witnesses, which I was surprised. And I'll get more into that, also Lori Daybell. And Rebecca said that PCP, and he is scared. Scared. Yeah, so basically when he is, scared, he was not thinking clearly, but he still doesn't take responsibility for what he did. Not at all. Not even a little bit. And in a blink, too fast for him to think, he messed up his life, and he did murder, and he has to pay the piper, and he still thinks he's alright. He sure is something, acting all entitled and uptight. Everybody can see in the jury that he is not right. He probably he walks through a drive-through and says, "This is all right." Then he gets scared. Now, I think that that and the Lori Daybell trial were certainly like Saturday Night Live skits. Sometimes truth is stranger than fiction. I like fictional stuff, but I've been getting a lot of great content, of crazy content, seeing the real deal. And Lori Daybell, my opinion, completely inconsiderate to the witnesses, and she's very rude and arrogant, and she opened up a lot of doors. She's opened up the doors, the Pandora's box, like what Darrell Brooks did. And today they're talking about, on Monday, they're going to have the jury instructions, if I remember correctly, and they're going to start the final part of it. Maybe not the final part of it. I could have heard that wrong, but on Monday they're going to talk more about the closings, if I heard that right, and they will not have. She will not have any witnesses, but he's giving her an opportunity to bring some witnesses to the trial. And people think that she must have given up on it. I don't know if she's trying to do that as a manipulation tactic. I don't quite know what her motives are, but she may. No, she's going to be in jail either way. And some people think that she should be locked up either way because, they shouldn't have this because she's going to be locked up either way. But she, it has to happen, these trials. That's just how it works. So I think that, the judge has been very cool and calm and fair to her. And I think he's extremely irritated by her, and he's aggravated with her at the same time. And because one time he sighed, he sighed during the court. And the trial for Lori Daybell is going by more quick, in my opinion, than the Chad Daybell did. But of course, there are more witnesses and stuff in that one. We're syncing this down. All right. Also, the Lori Daybell trial, I like the different police and detectives and stuff that come on the stand. And everybody did not take her nonsense. It was a satisfying thing to see that they're not buying what she's selling, because she was probably trying to flirt with the witnesses and the judge and thought she could get her way with everything. And it's like entertainment for her. She doesn't have to sit in prison or jail. She could just go and do that. So I think it's also entertainment for her. And Lori Dumbbell is definitely wonky. Yeah, Lori Dumbbell is wonky, and we're making all kinds of jokes about her, like she's like Timu, and it's a Timu comedy. Yeah, she's definitely Dumbbell is wonky. Every time, like, she looks like, she's all contorted and messed up, and I'm glad that, definitely, I'd say that one's definitely guilty. And Yeah, the trial's been quite crazy lately. I think that a lot of these hopefully people can start not being so crazy because a lot of these people are absolutely nuts with what they did because they don't think about the consequences. And I think that basically the conflicts that are going on in the chat, the different fights and stuff that are going on, it looks like everything has cooled off, and I'm glad to see that. Now, in some other regions, some other channels are having some problems, but hopefully that their situations get resolved. And I think with these the verdict with Monica, the jury got right because a lot of times they don't get the verdicts right, and it gets annoying. But I'm glad to. Oh, hello, Shell. Good to see you. Welcome. This is the late night special that we do on Thursdays, and it's similar to the earlier ones, just with less people. All right. That ship went down. I'm right now. I'm on a friend's ship, and we're attacking other ships. Yeah, I'm just like kind of talking about the different things I experienced during the day and stuff. And I will have, as I said, tomorrow. I'm still doing the live stream I do, tomorrow also. Now, what I did, and I hope that you're having a good day, Shell. Hopefully, everything's going to go with you. And yeah, so today the trials ended a bit earlier today, and I saw I saw my grandpa today, and we had a good conversation. And I was telling him about my YouTube adventures, and it was, and also about back and forth about that and many other topics. It was very fascinating. Yeah, shout out to y'all chilling in the chat for the late night club. Yeah, and that is the scary pirate moon. So yeah, I was thinking about because I had my different ancestors and stuff that did things in their lives, and it's so interesting in this time period that I experienced a lot of stuff online with different people all over the place. And that's something that future generations weren't able to do. So I had a lot of these different experiences with people, but on the internet. And I think that was quite fascinating. And I was talking about the different chases. I was seeing the different chases, different trials we were seeing, and also funny times I had with the different chats I'm in. So as I said, it's always cool with YouTube about having an interesting story to tell, and that's what I think of life in general. It's good to have a story to tell, no matter like what happens or what you go through. And I am, as I said, I'm very thankful and glad for the experiences I've had because like some people, when I was starting out, didn't quite understand why I sit here and do these things. And now I'm here, and people understand now why I did what I did. Okay. I have a vest, but this one is a green vest. Let's sacrifice something. Sailor's trousers. All right, trash it. All right, we're gonna put that there. All right. Also, hello, Five Cats Television, and Shell. That sounds delicious. I love cherry pie. Awesome. All right. What does this look like on the pirate? Or what's the green one look like on him? I feel that color goes better pirate, that color scheme, but this is the new one I got. I'm just seeing how that looks on him. I don't know, that also works too. That works too. Oh, you don't tell anyone what you watch on YouTube. Ah, okay. Hilarious. Oh no, like I like to tell the different stories. I tell my friend like the one now. A lot of people that I have known are incognito. That just growing up, a lot of people in my life were are doing their own thing and getting their lives together. But I still keep in touch with a lot of people. I haven't heard from one of my friends in a very long time, and he called me the other day, and I was telling, oh yeah, I love to talk about the YouTube adventures I have. And and people like the stories; they're very interesting. Oh, that's very cool, Shecky. That's very cool. All right, I'm looking for these ships. They're out this way. All right. So, do I watch the channel Explore with Us, aka EU? I don't think so, but I may have. I have to look it up. Can you say like, what the channel's about? Maybe refresh our memory. Yeah, and also Five Cats. I hope that your cats are doing good. I was seeing mine earlier, and yeah, so basically, and I will tell people as I go through my time about. Oh yeah, I talk about like the people like scared, and I talk about the different the hilarious laughs that I have with the people and the experiences on the show. I have so much stories to tell on these different shows that I'm on, and all the drama that happens, and it makes for a very very interesting tale. And I'm a good storyteller, so I really appreciate the experiences, and so yeah, I'm a little bit different. I like to tell. I always like to talk about things. Back when I was in school, I talk about the similar to what I talk about on YouTube. Like YouTube was like my second school experience, if that makes sense. It's the second school, or it's like a college experience I never had, or whatever we want to call it. And I, it's very similar to what it was like, but in a much, much larger scale. And my school was a cool school. It was very small. But this, it's like a big, big place at YouTube. Yeah, it's just I was well liked when I was at school, and I was I spoke at different events and stuff, and people. It's the same thing with YouTube. It's basically the same experience and same kind of drama and stuff. It's more people than before. And yeah, and Rebecca refreshed my memory. Oh, absolutely, absolutely, show, definitely. And I'm gonna get to what everybody's saying. It takes about a moment. Um, we're gonna go and attack this ship in the middle of nowhere over there. All right. So we got Rebecca says Explore with Us is a true crime channel. They show police body cam videos, interrogations. They explain the technique detectives get info out of people. I might have seen it, but I'll go look it out. I'll go look at it again. Okay, I'll look at it again. It's easy for people to misinterpret what people are saying in chat, and people's get feelers get hurt. Now, so that is true, show, and that happened to me when I was talking to one of my friends one time. We were having a conversation, you know, and I've offended people before unintentionally. So now something that I do, the thing that I like to do, not that okay, I don't want to say that like that. I do not like to do this. I This is something that happens by accident. I'll sometimes take a moment to respond to somebody, and this is like what happens to me. It's regarding of offending people. A lot of times, people I will talk to will get hurt, not hurt, but they will. If they tell me a joke or something and I don't respond right away, they panic and tell me they're sorry. They were trying to be offensive, and I said no. I said I'm fine. I'm okay. All right. I just was, I'm great. I'm not I'm not. I just took a moment to respond. And like one of my friends, he'll tell me, "Please don't block me." I was just joking. It's okay. I don't get offended. It's all right. Now, a lot of times, if I'll be on different, look, I'm on channels all over YouTube, all over the platform, channels that y'all never heard of, and I there'll be a situation where I have to deal with trolls, and Marie is a friend of mine. Y'all may have seen her before at another channel, Creature Feature. I'll go there sometimes, and like on Saturday, and these. Well, I'll you know how I talk about Timu jokes. I'll talk about the Timu jokes over there, and she loves the Timu jokes. Well, I'll make up Timu characters, and like there's the Timu wizard. There's the the Timu, the edgy Timu alchemists. These different people that I came up with, and her and I make jokes back and forth about it. And other people join in. A lot of people like me there, but there's these trolls that will tell me I'm slow in the head and to stop talking about the Timu stuff. Where don't talk about Timu. And I ignore them. I completely ignore them. And I pay no mind to them because it's like I'm too busy talking to the ladies and the cool dudes and stuff. I'm not trying to talk to these basement dwellers that can't stand my success. And all of you in chat that are involved in chat rooms are successful too at being a chatter, in the chat rooms. It's very important. The chatters are very important. And we all get attacked by trolls. They have creonge. Scared. The Timu always cracks me up, so screw them. Thank you, Shecky. Care about what others think, and you'll always be their prisoner. Exactly. Sometimes I have no idea what someone is talking about, so I will just don't tell anyone. Okay. Okay. Understood. Ah, okay. Sometimes, like what I do, there's these. I used to do stuff. Now, I'm not telling you what to do or anything. You do you, and you're not doing anything wrong. Because sometimes people make no sense. They make no sense at all. But I will say that there are Timu people, and there's something I saw that I sounded like a goat for a second. There's people that have issues, and like I will not understand what someone says. And I remember this quote I learned where if you if you ask a question, you're a fool for a minute. If you don't ask a question, you're a fool for life. So I have started to ask like what someone means and they say something, but I totally feel you, Shell. I feel you. Scared, scared. And there's people that are AFK right now. Yeah, y'all don't know what that means. So basically, AFK means that somebody is out of service in the game. All right, here we go. Yeah, we're getting them. that was funny. The Killiad. All right, fantastic. We go out a little bit more in the Outcasts. I have asked you about Timu because I didn't know what you meant. Away from keyboard. All right, thank you. I'll answer your question, and you could respond when you're back in the spaceship. Scared, scared. All right, so say this is what I think that the Timu origins come from, in my opinion. So the Timu origins, it was during the YSL trial, and it was over a year ago this happened because I was using Timu comebacks back when I was, 2 years ago. So it was not recently, like I may have thought before, but the Timu, I believe it came from YSL when we were roasting the state and Judge Glanville, and there is intense chat warfare. And basically, the chat warfare, there's propaganda, you could call it, I guess, or a narrative we're pushing, or a public opinion about the trial, or about a defendant, or about a situation, and it steers public opinion. And we were very strong together. And I remember that a Timu attorney, a Timu defense, Timu Glanville, Timu Woody, and you had all these people constantly. We would have comebacks and roast for everything, like all the time. Especially like these witnesses they were bringing up. It was this bombardment. One day it was heavy bombardment. There was like 18,000 people in there, and it was heavy bombardment, me included. We all bombarded, and so I was around them a lot. And I don't want to emphasize or put down or not. I don't want to leave out all the other chatters that were not at YSL, all the people at the other trials that I watch, also have great comebacks too. Just YSL was the heaviest one. I think that's where I learned a lot of stuff, but I learned a lot of comebacks and things from the other trials. So it came from the trials, and I think more or less from the YSL group. Now, my grandpa, he would buy from Temu, and maybe that's another origin of it, but it came in because of the trial stuff. You're welcome. Temu won't for you. Temu, I thought you talking cheap China stuff. All right, Shell. So you're correct. It is basically Temu. I explained this to my aunt, and if you have any like questions or explanations, I will explain it because it can be kind of complicated. So here it goes. So say if something's from Temu, Temu is a place where you could shop like a billionaire or a millionaire or both, and everything is $4 or $2. It's like the 50s all over again, or some time where they had cheaper things. So what we do now is say if something there is a witness, or there's a witness on the stand, and you have a witness, and he is a Temu witness. So when you have a Temu witness, so it means that the witness sucks. It means that the witness isn't that great, and it's kind of like a cheaply made knockoff thing. You know, like say there's a Temu a comedy. So another example is like a Temu comedy. So we're watching a Temu trial. So it's so stupid and ridiculous. Like the trial earlier where the dude did the bathtub murders, and he's talking stupid, and he smoked some PCP, and he did this murder, and he said that he doesn't remember anything, but he talked about everything about the situation. He talked about everything in the situation. So he remembers, but he doesn't remember. So we're watching a Temu comedy. There's a regular comedy that you watch, but a trial should not be a comedy. And people are making it into a comedy. And that is basically the situation. So you have understood show. Like, I was talking to my aunt, and I was telling her, like, down here there's a lot of roaches in the city because of the climate we have here. There's a climate we have here, and we have a climate here. So where it's very good for cockroaches, and also during the slave trade, they were, they were stowaways that came here unexpectedly, because they're in Africa. That's where they originated from. So we say I was telling her that she saw a Temu cockroach because it's like a bug is the roaches are disgusting, and well maybe from some scientific perspective they're fascinating from a scientific perspective, but they're actually disgusting to have in a house, and it's a Temu cockroach. Palomito beetles. Well, that's a nice name for them. That's a better name than I had for them. But yeah, so that's like a Temu cockroach. It's like say you're just chilling in your house and you're trying to have a good time, but there's a Temu cockroach. Oh my goodness gracious. Okay. They're not repairing the ship for some reason, but we'll see how this goes. I might lose it. Oh, it looks like they're repairing it. I was wrong. Whoa. That creeped up on me, man. I have to go through this field. Yeah, so basically, say like it's a Timu cockroach. It's like you're hanging out in your house and you see a roach and it's inconvenient. Timu cockroach. Say if I have a girlfriend that was a cool girlfriend, but she we kind of drift apart and she doesn't like tell me exactly what's going on, or like she can't be in a relationship anymore and she just kind of disappears in my life and blocks me. See, that's a Timu girlfriend. See, what a real girlfriend would do is say, I'm splitting up with you. I have to move on. That's what a girlfriend would do. But a Timu girlfriend would block you and not necessarily say what's going on. Doesn't mean she's bad. She was very good. It served its purpose for that time period. We moved on, with our lives. It was, it's all good. But, graduate from school, you go different places. But, a Timu person would just not say anything. But because of the Timu girlfriend, I used the energy to do what I had to do, and here we all are. We're all here from different parts. Oh yeah, okay. Like everybody's from a different live stream that I went to that's here. But so basically, what happened was with, and then you have another situation. Say like you have a Timu, you have a deluxe cherry pie. You don't have a Timu cherry pie. And say you have a deluxe cherry pie, right? But say like the cherry pie, a piece of it gets on your clothes, or it if it's just look. I don't want to say that because I don't want something to happen to her cherry pie. But like, let's say I'll be nice. So say like the cherry pie. Oh, I'm heading to a field. Oh, hard to starboard. Come about hard to starboard. Oh, these people sunk it right away. And yeah, so basically, like, say if a piece of it got on your shirt, or got on your clothes, whatever you're wearing, and oh, we can make a joke. Oh, it was a Timu pie piece that got on me, a Timu pie piece, and also, let's say that you have a Brian Steele being held in contempt for defending his client, and this idiot Judge Glanville gets all like he's kind of like the type of people that say mess around, find out. He's the type of people that, for instance, they will say, our oh, come on, alien, speak English. All right, so what Five Cats is saying is that I like that. Thank you, I appreciate it. So basically, what happens is in this situation, you have Glanville, and he's acting. He's the type. Glanville might be the type of person that will stab somebody if they touch him, and you'll say, "Touch me and see what happens," or at a track meet or something. Glanville's that type of person. So Glanville said, "Mr. Steele, I want you to try that again, Mr. Steele." He was getting all like ballsy and stuff, and I'm gonna hold you in contempt, and I'll hold you in contempt of court. And Brian, so when you have a Timu judge, he's gonna hold a defense attorney in contempt. So that was a Timu judge, but the other judge, and Whitwicker, she was not a Timu judge. She was a good judge, and it was emotional. Like when, oh, you know, the boy, I know his name, Young Thug. When he was taking the plea deal, he was saying that Whitwicker, she gave him a chance. She gave him a chance that Glanville didn't give him, and that he gave him a fair trial. And although Young Thug's older than I am, a few years, he's like in his 30s, so he's not a boy. I I refer to a gender. I was like referring to his gender, but so basically, but he took the plea deal because he didn't want to be stuck in prison anymore. He didn't want to be in prison for a long time, and so that's when you have a Timu judge, right? Yes, the judges that Biden approved are Timu judges, correct. And say that you have a Timu witness, you have a Timu defendant. Like say Darrell Brooks, he professes his hatred for white people all the time. He professes in his social media he did not like white people, and so what Darrell Brooks did, there was a crowd of people enjoying their Christmas, and he took his SUV and he plowed through them. And there's children, there's everybody having a good time, but he felt like he was a cool dude and he plowed through them. And he was very rude to Judge Doro, and he got up and he was going to fight her, and he hit the table real hard. He stared at her like a demon. And he was saying that he believes in Jesus Christ, actually. That's what he said at the end. He said he believes in Jesus Christ. And he was a Timu defendant. And also, he defended himself. There's a term in law which means opening the door. And that's what he did. He opened the door. Yeah, so, and because there was a rap video he did. And there in the background, they had this video of, they had this video of him. And they had the SUV in the background. He mentioned the SUV in the background, and the jury, they had to go, the state brought it up. His hair looks like Timu. Hilarious. And yeah, his hair was a Timu too. Exactly. Yeah. All right, we're gonna go off again to sink some ships. Yeah, so those are Timu individuals. We're gonna go to the volcano island and go into the caves. All right, we're going to the caves. Scared. Scared. Say if you have Timu dressing, say like you're pouring some dressing on a salad, and it dumps everywhere. That was Timu. That was Timu dressing. Let's say you're stuck in traffic. You're in Timu traffic, and let's say there was, say if somebody has a bong and it spills bong water all over him. That was a Timu bong. And you have Darrell Brooks, a Timu defendant, and a Timu comedy. It's like, so a trial's not supposed to be a comedy, but you have these people, these sick effers that make a trial into a spectacle, into a show, and they say stupid things. The dude does not remember murdering the people. Then he gives details about the murder he did. You know how much of a crooked piece of crud you gotta be to be like that? So that's a Temu comedy right there. A Temu sensation. And yes, in the trial chat, there's thousands of people there, and everybody uses the Temu comeback. And I popularized it all over YouTube. I was watching Timbaland stream. He even uses it. ABL uses it. I got everybody to use it because it works. And I remember when I was learning about, I was always funny, but I also learned about, yeah, lame equals Temu. Yeah. You got that right, Shecky. You know, you have these people like that hurt women and hurt kids. They have Temu testicles. And they're a Temu spectacle. Oh, I'm dropping bars now. Oh, hey, Duke, bro. Good to see you, man. I'm teaching them the ways of Temu. And everybody all over YouTube in the chat room, I remember I keep getting these responses. Like, people are saying they're getting Temu ads. So I was able to manipulate the Google algorithm to give people Temu ads. So it's like they can make a conspiracy theory about me that I'm trying to control the world now, the YouTube algorithm and stuff, and trying to rule the world. Somewhat inadequate. Like, say if you have weather that's bad, it's Temu weather. And say if you have a sickness, you have a Temu sickness. Oh, hey, Billy. Good to see you, buddy. How have you been? I hope you've been doing good. Now, I remember, so it's basically, it means lame, yeah. And it means dumb and stupid, it means all kinds of things. And, like, say, like, you order something from Temu and it doesn't work. And I remember, there's another comeback that was created recently. I remember I was in the Creature Feature stream, and I was talking to the Crypt Keeper, and he was saying that I think this is more likely from AliExpress. So AliExpress was invented recently by the spaceship team. So you had this incident that happened where I was at a trial. I was at this trial and I was talking to Abby, and I was saying that, you know, his attitude is from Temu, and his shirt is from AliExpress. That wasn't it, but it was something like that, and she was hysterical. All right, Shell. Good night. Thank you for stopping by. Silver Fox, I am delighted to see you. I am glad that you are here with us. I hope that you're doing well. It's been a while since we talked. Scared. I was giving a Timu education. I got Shecky pretty good. I was like Timu girlfriend. Yeah, so Silver Fox, have you been keeping up with the Lori Daybell trial? I don't know if I've seen you over there. Also, it is Holy Week, and it'll be Good Friday right now. It's Good Friday right now. At this point in time, Jesus was being interrogated by the priests, and Peter was saying that Peter was being a Timu apostle, at the moment, and he did not recall Jesus. So I am, reflecting on that, and Good Friday, and yesterday was Holy Thursday. So I have acknowledgement about that also. Oh, you're watching that? Okay, yeah, because as I said, the witnesses are not taking her nonsense. I'm glad they're not, about the Timu mayhem that she talks about, and then they're going to come back on Monday, and he's going to try to give her an option to call some witnesses, but she's not calling any witnesses. And everybody's saying she must have given up on the whole thing. Gregatron. It's our boy Gregatron, chilling at the spaceship. Good to see you, sir. We are talking about, I'm reflecting upon the. Oh, it'll come back. I'm reflecting on the trials and educating the people about Timu. What I was talking about, what the Timu comebacks mean. And I was talking about, the religious week, about, it's Good Friday right now, and when Jesus was being interrogated by the Timu priests and being denied by the Timu apostles. Well, the Timu apostle was just one. And, well, actually, I stand corrected. He had a disciple from AliExpress and Timu that betrayed him for 30 pieces of silver, so I forgot to leave him out, and a lot of them ran away. So he had some Timu disciples, a few of them, and Timu priests. And also, we're talking about the trials, and I was teaching them about what the Timu comeback. Remember, because I was learning about comedy stuff and show stuff, and basically having different jokes that and material is always important to have every single time. And what we do is, with the, oh, what is this going on? Oh, pain immunity. That's what he has. Scared. And that's what we. Okay, she's saying I can't wait for the courts to be done with Hori Lori. That's true. I can't wait for that. I can't wait for that myself. I'll be glad when that finally is a thing. So that's what I've been, reflecting on. We've been talking about, and I'll be live tomorrow as well. That, oh, that's a big alligator. Scared. Oh, I got the wrong voodoo. I got to get the staff out. What am I doing? I'm being a Timu. I'm being a Timu pirate right now. Yeah, that's true. Ah, they knocked me out. All right, and I could have prevented this. I could have, I could have possibly avoided this by taking a tonic, but I thought I could get him in time, but I didn't. One more trial to go for Dumbbell. Hori Dumbbell. And her fourth husband's. Yes, scared. Yeah, and I saw my grandpa earlier, and I was telling about my YouTube stories. I mean, there I could write a whole book. I could talk about it for days and years, probably, about the 5 years I've been on YouTube. But I was telling him the recent stories that happened, my experiences in the chat rooms, and he thought it was interesting. We are watching at Law and Crime Trials. It's their red channel. Law and Crime has two channels. They had the blue channel. Oh, no, we're watching at Law and Crime Network. Not okay, Law and Crime Network. I made a mistake. Law and Crime Network, the blue channel. I made a mistake. It's not the red channel. It's the blue channel. I'll put the link in the chat for that channel. Alrighty, so here we go. We're gonna get the Chrome out, and we're going to say, we're going to make sure this loads. It doesn't want to load. It's going to load. Here we go. I'm going to go here. And we're going to go to Timu YouTube, and we're going to I'll put the link in chat for her. Law and Crime Network. Alrighty. Copy. Let's see, paste it. We're going to paste this right here. That is not how it works, actually. I have to go directly to this area to go and get this right here. Alright, we're going to take their handle. And this is the channel. They have two channels. Law and Crime Network. On HTC. Oh, okay. You got blocked from there, I think you said. Alright. Alright, thank you, Silver, for saying the channel you watch it on. Yeah, because I wondered where you were. Yeah, I don't know why that's a thing. I don't know. Silver, scared. Scared. Now I'm trying to find the cave itself. I'm going in circles now. Oh, yeah. Alright, here's the cave. Yeah, and Mary Toodles was wondering why, since she's already in prison, since Hori Cringe Dumbbell is in prison, why is she being tried for more things? It's how the system works. Oh, okay. Okay, Silver, understood. Boom. I'm good. I'm not a fan of Lauren's husband, Dr. John, but Lauren does a good recap of the trial. Okay, understood. I am back. Just mean a little mini video of the cats and kittens before they go to new one next week. Oh, okay. Understood. Thank you for letting us know what's going on. Cats are adorable. Yeah, and also I've been keeping up with the bathtub murderer too, and he smoked too much PCP. Scared. My character's limping around. This is a. I thought it's a dead end, but it's not a dead end. But it is a dead end. That's the lava gorge. Shell was. I was saying earlier. I was telling my grandpa my stories. Some of my stories of recent YouTube events, and she said she doesn't tell anybody anything, and she does on YouTube. And I said, well, you know, a lot of people are like that, but as I said, I love telling the different stories about my experiences. It's hilarious. I was out in the sun today. It was nice, nice weather, and nice seeing family, and we're getting ready for Easter. That's really cool. Yeah, so and I had a good visit with him today, and because the trials, I'll keep up with many at once, and that is very tedious, and it takes getting used to, and because sometimes we mix up some information, but I usually catch different things, but like so. I like the mod Alexandra McDonald. She's pretty cool. Same thing with me, Silver. Same thing with me. 5 cats. Thank you. I was raised in a Catholic family, so I understand about not eating meat on Friday. And I don't. I think that all Christians should practice that, in my opinion, because it's a form of fasting to remember the sacrifice that Jesus did for Christians, for Christians to practice. Like I don't. I think either one could practice it. It's a type of fasting. Yeah, and with a Good Friday, it's a dark time, but also it reflects where something dies and comes back to life, stronger and better, like the phoenix that rises from the ashes. Now, when the girlfriend that I had, I found out that she, when she, was gone for good. I found out on Easter Sunday. Oh, that's a cool show. Coincidentally, that's the show my girlfriend liked. That's a good show. It's funny. And yeah, so when I found out that it wasn't she was gone for good, it was Easter Sunday. I'm like, this is a pretty dark day for that to happen. But if something great came out of it, where I looked at all kinds of, I got close to God. I looked at these different philosophies, and different knowledge, and I pursued my YouTube channel. And whoever was across my path, I was going to continue to whoever was across my path, I was going to just go put my hat in a ring completely for YouTube. So I'm glad that that event got me closer to God that happened on Easter Sunday. So basically, and I like what I'm thankful for what Jesus did for us, and the the corrupted leaders that did that didn't realize that they were in error, but it was good that it happened in a way so we could have salvation. Because there was a temple, and they had sacrificed animals and birds for the salvation, the atonement of sins. Now, what they did was, this way, it's done for good, and it's not necessary to do the other thing anymore. Because like we know with trials, when they're, you commit a crime, there's a price that has to be paid. And anything good we ever will do is nothing compared to God's perfection, ever. So that is what we as Christians like to reflect on and remember this, remember this day in commemorance. So yeah, that's what I like to celebrate, and also looking forward to the Easter Sunday that will occur, which is the resurrection. It's like people are asking him to get off the cross, but how about he gets deleted on the cross and comes back 3 days later? On the third day, on Sunday. Thank you, Five Cats. And as I said, I'm not her. So what happened with her was, her and I went our separate ways because of, like, we went in different directions in life. But when she was with me, yes, indeed, yes, indeed. And I'm not against her. I've nothing against her about that. It's just that we were, if things were different, like, we would have been still together now. But so like she was going to college and I was, I guess, going down this path, and yeah, eventually we drifted apart. But thank you for the kind words about that. And she was the one that my thumbnail for my live streams. She was the one that picked that picture for my yearbook when I was graduating school. So that was, so yeah, shout out to her. She was cool people. So I said I'm not with her now, but I was with her in the past. And she was a sweetheart, certainly. Yes. She was very nice. I like what you said, Five Cats. I really appreciate it. Very sweet. Is it cold where you are, Duke? All right, Greg. See you later, buddy. Have a great weekend. They're going to probably get me. Oh, I completed a quest. They got me cornered. I couldn't move. All right. Yeah, peace, Gregatron. So to be a little more clear about the girl, it's my ex. The girl's my ex. The ex girlfriend that I had, because that will clear up some confusion. Thank you, Rebecca. I really appreciate it, and I wish there was more people like y'all in the chat, more people like y'all too in the world. All right, Checky. Good night, buddy. It looks like we're going into that cave right there. Scared. Beckett's query. Thank you, Five Cats. I really appreciate it. I appreciate the love from all of you. And I think that there's these different people. Oh, we can't use that on the humans. We'll just use this instead. And with the Good Friday, I think that it's nice to see the different reflection from the different Christian face in the world, and it's great to see the impact that Christ made. And there's all this stuff and the divisions and stuff in the world, and it's best for people to come together. And also, when people have different religions, and I think it's good for people to settle their differences and to get along as best as possible in spite of differences that people may have with each other. And when you do that, you really, will go far by loving your neighbor as yourself, so to speak, and following those principles. I think that the world will be a better place in general. Because remember, there is this the kittens are being bad. They're being Timu kittens. And I think that there is this great parable where this woman was looking for a coin, and she was overjoyed when she found the coin finally. And that's like when God finds the lost person. So I like the different parables in the Bible. Even if people are not religious or don't believe in Jesus, I think the parables are very good in the Bible. Exactly, Rebecca. Yeah, exactly. Scared. Five cats. Scared. Timu. Timu kitten shat you set my bed. Scared. Timu mayhem. Timu marathon. Oh, five cats. I know what you mean by autocorrect. My tablet does that. Is the lava gorge, or is this the other place? I'm scared. It looks like I have some enemies here to fight, so we're gonna fight them. Let's fight it with the staff. Now we're conjuring up this. I'm on fire now. Timu Mayhem. Alright, now we're getting the undead swordsmanship. Exactly, it has autocorrect. You know, autocorrect can be very cringe. Autocorrect binge and cringe and stinge. Yeah, and Jesus was sold for 30 pieces of silver. Silver is a valuable metal. It has been doing pretty well against the economic situations. Gold has been doing great also. I like that green. Alright, so that is Jolly Rogers. Now you can have situations, and that's Jolly Roger, by the way. He's always raised the shores. That's what he does. You know, he always causes problems in the Caribbean. Your nose was ripped apart by a dog. Yeah. Yeah, dogs can be, dogs can be vicious. Now, you can have dogs and cats grow up together and it works. That has happened before. But I don't know enough about that, but there has been instances where dogs and cats can grow up together. But yeah, if it's hurting the kitten, that's not good. Or at least separate them where they're not around each other. Like put the cat in a separate area from where the dog is. Yeah, this is the catacomb area. Scared. Alright, we're just wandering around the catacombs now. This is where the undead is. Those are some coffins, some skulls. Oh lord. This is kind of like the back rooms. And they got me. Rebecca, can you put? I think what you could do is you should put the kitten or the cat. Let's see. You should. Yeah, put the cat in a separate area. Sometimes we have cats that fight each other, and we separate them in different places. Now, if it's a little kitten, put it in a little kennel until it gets bigger, but try to keep it in a separate room, Rebecca. To try to do that. Even the cats can do the same thing with each other. And there are cats and dogs that can grow up together, but yeah, keep the cat in a separate room. You're welcome, Rebecca. Back to the lava gorge. 5 cats. When I was a kid, my aunt's dog it was a nice dog, but it was trying to play with me or something, and it jumped on me. I got kind of spooked or kind of scratched by it. So I wasn't anything bad, but it kind of startled me. And some dogs can be not nice, but I've seen dogs that are pretty nice though. There's this cat. There's this. My aunt's dog is a indigenous dog, very nice. So there are some good dog stories, but some dogs can be not that nice. And look, when I was a kid, there is this crazy cat named Sonny, and when I was a little kid, he chased me around the house, and then I went under the covers and he beat me. But it was a crazy cat. It wasn't like a normal cat. So I think like both cats and dogs can have their moments, but yeah, dogs can be pretty fierce and they could cause some damage. Absolutely, and cats are better suited for you. That's good. Understood. 5 cats. Understood. And we want cats to be safe, and I want that too. And want the cat now must be safe. Absolutely. The dog just likes to. He reminds me of VT. 5 cats. I agree. You could show me the bruises. I agree that dogs can do that. Dogs are, they can do that. Absolutely. The Undead Soy Team. Yes, some of those dogs are like that. Yeah. Right. Kind of wait. Just kind of wait for the health to completely come back. Oh yeah, absolutely. They can be like that. Absolutely. And they'll get strong and aggressive, but they don't even realize their own strength. And they can be loud too. What type of dog is it? 5 cats. Like, what type of dog is this dog that you speak of? I'm just curious. All right, now that health is coming back. I'm not going to be groggy alien anymore. All right. Yeah, these are the undead pirates. Come on, voodoo staff. Alright. Alright, here's some stuff in the catacombs right here. Uh, Going this way. Alright, there's some more enemies. A Staffy. I'm not too sure about the breed of dog called Staffy. But that's interesting. Yeah, and I think that people like cats are cool because they clean their own box. They go to the box. They kind of do their own thing. That's something good about cats. Scared. Oh, they're gonna cut me down here. We gotta use voodoo to heal me. Yeah, so that is, as I said, it reminds you of the lava gorge more than the other thing. Yeah, people gotta be careful with dogs and careful with pets. Because things can get ugly. So yeah, it's unfortunate you got injured by them, by one, but because as I said, you gotta be careful. That's locked. They're not letting us go through that one. Yeah, and I remember when we got Bubbles when he was a kitten. He was, and we put him in the kennel, and then kind of nursed him until he was older. But not like what we give him like kitten food and stuff like that. What do I think about bringing the dire wolf back? I think the dire wolf is a couple of different perspectives about the dire wolf. I think that it's good to have scientific advancements and improve things for future innovation and stuff. And maybe this could be used for some good purposes. But there's a point where we're playing God at some point, and the dire wolf is a recreation of this using fossils and some other wolf that's still here, where they would have features of the dire wolf. And I think we have to wait to see how it goes. But this is a prehistoric creature that they brought back. So it might be its instincts might be kind of different than ours. It's really unpredictable. They seem very cute and cuddly, but we have to watch out that they don't ever try to do a Jurassic Park situation or a situation where the human sovereignty would be threatened, stuff like that. Because artificial intelligence is very useful, very good, but it's still it could be used from for some diabolical schemes. Diabolical schemes. Yeah, you agree? Yeah. I will say the direwolf is very cute. I don't know. It looks kind of funny. It's kind of like Rocky. Camera's kind of shaking as the dude's walking, and he sees all this smoke and this lava stuff. It's like, where is this man at? Like, really? And every time people pass by, they look frightened of my pirate. They're dazzled by his beauty. And they're talking about bringing the woolly mammoth back. For whatever reason, these creatures were eradicated by people want to say God or the forces of the nature or whatever for a reason, I guess. So I don't know if bringing them back is the greatest thing, but it'll be interesting to see how it goes. Be interesting to see. It's really unpredictable, especially when they said when testosterone starts hitting them and they get older, they become like puberty hits them. They're gonna be very interesting. They said, so, we'll see what happens. Yeah, you've seen that. You've seen that. Yeah, I was watching Law and Crime, and I looked at Google or something, and I saw that the dire wolf was brought back. I'm like, I had to go cover that. Oh yeah, it is crazy for faux show. Absolutely, it's Timu crazy. You got these undead gypsies walking around. It's wild. And also recently, the Titanic sunk on April 15th, April 14th, 113 years ago. That's some crazy stuff, and it's still there in one piece, not in one piece, but in broken pieces. But and parts of it's like like pulleys and stuff still work on it, so yeah, it's still hanging in there. Like they always say it's gonna like disintegrate, but it doesn't. And all the souls that perish, unfortunately, rest in peace to them. And as I said, if they would have hit the iceberg directly, they wouldn't have sunk. That's what I think they were counting on. They were thinking, if we hit an iceberg, we'll be okay because it only has two flood compartments. But the person Murdoch tried to miss it, and it didn't work out too well. When you try to miss it, you're gonna cause more problems. Well, also, there's an issue going on with iron at that time. The iron in the water causes it to get brittle and break easily. And they did not know this at the time Titanic was created. But when you have iron in that ice, that's that cold, icy water, it like cracks. It can be more sensitive. Oh, that is so cool that you got to see somebody that was 100 years old. Wow, they would have been born like the 1800s. That's crazy, man. Wow. And it's funny how they're asking her about the Titanic. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, that as I said, that's a very cool show and tell story. Oh, that's really cool, Rebecca, that you have a grandma that's 97 living on her own. That's really cool. Yeah, shout out to your grandma. My grandparents are in their 80s. My grandparents in England are a little bit older than the ones here. All right, let's see where this leads. It leads probably to the catacombs. Or no, the lava gorge. All right, so the other place is where I'm supposed to be at. Okay. You know, it's crazy to think like people living that long and being through all those different decades. That's really that must be like a mind blowing experience. You know, because it's like we're in the 20s again. It's like Al Capone and those people were around during this time period, and the Great Depression happened in '29, and that wasn't too nice. There was some crashes that happened. I was looking at the Great Depression, so these people were trying to the banks were trying to stimulate the stock market a couple of times, and it failed. Eventually, it fell through, and it went kaboop, went out. And the Titanic was not the worst design. It's just it was not designed to swipe an iceberg because they thought it would hit something directly. They didn't think it would just try to sideswipe it. Because like if you have a big vessel, you're not supposed to turn and try to avoid it. You're supposed to hit it directly. As I said, I like the Titanic's type of system there, and also in Britannic, they made some improvements on it. Titanic had two other sisters. In Britannic, they added a mechanism where if it got hit by an iceberg like Titanic did and it sideswiped it, it won't sink. They should have added the upgrade to that version, and then they had the flood compartments go all the way up so they don't overtop. So the Titanic, the Titanic, it was there's a buoyancy, but a domino effect can happen if the more than five flood compartments are filled. The buoyancy will get unbalanced and it'll cause a domino effect, and it'll just tip down and sink. But three compartments can be filled and it won't sink. And I know the ship sunk, so I don't want to say it's impossible to sink it, but it would have been very difficult. But if you go cut half the ship open, then of course it's going to sink. It's not invincible. Have I been to England? I have not in person been to England. No. But so like now before I was born, my mom was in England and I was in existence, but I wasn't born yet. But I was born in America. But I've never been to England, no. Every time, like, I'll try to go in the 2000s, but the hand, foot, mouth disease was a thing. Then I try to go in the 2020s and the COVID coof happened. And England's having some problems right now. So it's best to, I would personally not go there. It's at the moment. But if I could go, I would go to England one day. I just am more focused on the trials and these different YouTube things I'm doing. But yeah, so I've never been to England, no. Dude, pin me up against a wall. You're not going to do that. Ah, they got me. All right. All right, now breaking out. Dude fell flat and was instantly deleted. Scared. All right. Going back to the caves. back in the scary caves. No, but England's a usually a cool country, but as I said, over time it's had problems. It had some violence over there, and in general. But it's a my uncle loved going to London during the back in the 80s and 90s and stuff, and when he was growing up, the 70s, and I think that it was pretty. It sounded like a pretty cool place to go. Yeah, back in this is Beckett's Quarry. That's where this is. Now, Rebecca, have you been to England? Yeah, and Ireland's a cool place too. I know a lady that has dual citizenship to both places. It's, to Ireland and in the United States. All right, I guess this is in a quest, so we're gonna go and get them. Oh, okay. You've been to a couple places in the states. That's nice. I like California, but it's kind of hard come under some hard times, but it still has some cool places over there. You're heading back to Michigan soon. Ah, okay. That's cool. Yeah, Michigan. It sounds like a nice state. It got like Michigan when it snowed here last time. It was similar to Michigan. Yeah, that's cool. You go to Michigan too. Is there a reason why you go to like Michigan? Here's a reason why I go to Michigan. That's what I meant to say. Because I was in. I've not been to Texas, and I'm right next to it, but I'll go there one day. But yeah, so I'm sure that was interesting. Ah, okay. That's cool. Yeah, that's over there. See where I am. It's like a forest where I am, but it's also has like some swampy type plants. Also, they're both siding with me. Yeah, the sword's the best bet. 9 of 14. Scared. I'm in Louisiana. That's where I am. Right next to Texas, in the deep south. Yeah. In 20 years ago, Katrina hit my city. Yeah, 20 years Katrina hit my city. In this August. I remember when it happened. I was 7, but I remember when it happened. Yes, I got hit. Yes. I got flooded. It it flooded where I am 3 feet. And as you go up the street, it got deeper and deeper. And I was not here for it. I was in Florida. But yeah, it was not nice. And I was down the street, but I moved up here, where next to my grandparents. Very nice Christian man that lived here, where I am. He passed away of cancer in early 2000s, and he felt he was on a religious mission and a sacrifice. And by him passing away, we got this place, and it was able to be fulfilled. Thank you, Rebecca. I appreciate it. And yeah, it was it was terrible. Yeah, thank you. I remember I saw the street. A piece of a street was ripped up and was on the sidewalk. I was confused. And also, there's a boat. There's these all kinds of junk and different objects from all kinds of places just hanging, just laying around. It was very strange. All the grass was dead or deleted, and yeah, it was. And there was a eel on top of the cat house roof. It was like an abyssal eel. It was quite crazy. And I lost some things. and they had to graffiti the house. The house is when the army was looking for people that were deleted or alive, and they would draw a line, and they'd go in and they draw an X, and they would put 0 or 1 or 2 or 3 with the number under it. And Rebecca says, why don't they name hurricanes bad names? Rebecca says, why don't they name hurricanes at bad names like Hurricane Baltimore? Baltimore. They need to stop with the Timu names. Ah, hilarious. I like that. I like that. I know, right? They need to stop with the Timu names. I know. So what happened was they would draw the X, and in the center the 0, and the number under the X is about how many deleted people there were inside the houses or people that were trapped. And then you would have on the side the army group that did it, that conducted it. And on the very top, they'll have the date. And also, the other side, they'll show animals or other things that were in there. And they also make commentary about what was going on in the house or the debris. If there was just one slash, it meant that the search was not completed. In many years after the hurricane, there were houses that were left abandoned for years and years. Right. And I also remember how, as I said, so much junk and stuff everywhere, and they, and what happens is there would be a water line in the house, and under the water line, there's caked with mold circles, caked with it. That's like what it would look like. That's what the water line would look like. And like the furniture and stuff was all thrown everywhere, and it looks like someone the Matrix had a glitch and everything just got all thrown around everywhere. It was like it was a Timu glitch. It was a Timu scene. Scared. Scared. All right, Duke. Thank you. All right, my brother was part of the Habitat of Humanity and went down after Katrina. Well, I'm thankful for his service, what he did. I'm glad that he and many other people came down to help. Yeah, and it's important for all the people. I'm thankful for all the people that helped. And at some point, we went to Mississippi in the campground, and I will never forget the smell of the campfire. It was very nice. It was very, enchanting. All right, taking that gold. Scared. And when I came back, I saw the Superdome with the roof torn off. It was quite crazy looking. And I saw the cars that were there that were flooded. Yeah, there's a lot of flooded cars over. So yeah, it was a big mess. It was certainly a big mess. Let's see how this goes. I'm gonna sweep. All right, let's go back. But because of what happened, I was able to move down where this area, where there was a bigger yard, and so I'm glad it happened because I got to see this place, this part of the area, and have my garden and stuff. The other area wouldn't have had a garden; it would have been too small. So it happened for a good reason for me. Also, my grandpa did a lot of he rescued some cats and stuff. That was very brave of him to do. And there's a lot of people that came together and helped out in the city, so that was a good thing. That came out of it too. But yeah, it was just, and also with the refrigerators, they had to tape them shut and throw them out because you couldn't open it. It would be very bad. They said. And yeah, it was a very strange smell of sulfur. That's what it was like. It smelled like doom, definitely. All right, this is the lava gorge going to the catacombs. Scared. All right, this is where all the skeletons are, and this is their crypts, but they're zombies coming back to life. That's what they are. Yes, fencing. Yeah, that's basically what we're doing here. Yeah. Yeah, that's what they're doing. It looks like fencing, definitely. Yeah, shout to the goats. The goat, yeah. And you have a badger. I like that. And you have a chicken. All right. Yeah, shout out to the little farm animals and other critters. And a dinosaur. Yeah, going this way. And a flower. That's nice. Another flower. This is a dead end. Are going down these scary pathways. So we have this way. It's a winding path. Got hot dog, not hot dogs, but we have a sandwich and tacos. I love tacos and sandwiches. Those are very delicious. Scared. I keep on going this other direction, so we're gonna have to go here and go that way. I keep on doing it over and over, going in circles. Here and then going like right through here. All right, there we go. Better situation. So you have a lot of the soldiers from the British Empire in here, and also you have quite a few of the skeletons too. That is a dead end with a monster right there. Cool. Shout out to you. Shout out to you, Duke. Cool people. Cool people. And also to the chickens. All right. So we're going to. I'll read some stuff and then we'll end it. Okay. Read some things. All right. Shout out to the game. I'm about to read some things. Scared. Shout out to the spaceship cats. Okay, so look up some things about this. All right, Good Friday, April 18. And meaning of Good Friday, according to the Britannica, Good Friday has been recognized a day of mourning, penance, and fasting by Christians since the early days of faith. While some believe the term Good Friday reflects the day's sacred significance, others suggest it stems from the status of religious observance. Which y'all know about this. And see, Holy Thursday. Thursday. Holy Thursday is the commemoration of the Last Supper of Jesus Christ when he established the sacrament of Holy Communion prior to the arrest of the crucifixion. It also commemorates his institution of the priesthood. On Thursday, Christians commemorate the day on which Jesus Christ shared the Last Supper with his 13 apostles prior to the crucifixion. All right. And let's see, read a little. Oh, y'all know what this is already, but I'll also be doing the stream tomorrow as well. You know, these are some. We'll talk about this because we talk about these things. And all right, so these are some, pictures of the depictions of the crucifix of Christ, the cross. The sacrifice that was made for salvation for people on earth. Amen. And a lot of people, do different. I think in some other countries they do reenactments and stuff. So that's always, people go really extreme with it, but yeah, people observe it in different ways. and you have that as well. All right, and going back here. Good Friday, also known as Holy Friday, and Great Holy Friday. Friday of Passion of the Lord is a solemn Christian holiday, holy day commemorating the crucifixion of Christ and his deletion at Calvary, Golgotha. It is observed during Holy Week as part of the Paschal Triduum. Members of many church denominations, including Catholic, Eastern Orthodox, Lutheran, Anglican, Methodist, Oriental Orthodox, United Protestant, and some Reformed traditions, including certain Continental Reformed, Presbyterian, and Congregationalist churches, observe Good Friday with fasting in the church service in many Catholic, Lutheran, Anglican, and Methodist churches, and the service of the Great 3 Hours of Agony is held from noon until 3 p.m. Hours of the Bible records darkness covering the land until Jesus' death on the cross. Communicants of the Moravian Church have Good Friday tradition of cleaning gravestones in Moravian cemeteries. Yeah, that's a overview about Good Friday. Like what it's about, what y'all know about this. And basically we will also tomorrow probably mention it in my stream tomorrow as well. Almsgiving, fasting, worship services, vigil. And there's a lot of been artwork and depictions about this event, and it was not forgotten, and the ripple effect has gone through history. So, people believe in a cause so much they're willing to be deleted for it is always an inspiring thing. And there's East and West. The Orthodox Church has a different day of. Now, in 2025, the Eastern and Orthodox Church both have it on the 18th. But in 2026, it'll be April 3rd for the West and April 10 for Eastern. And the date for in 2027, or we'd say 27, the March 26, and then for the East, it'll be April 30. All right, so, and then Easter will come, and that will be also, that's the whole thing about Easter Sunday, the come of the resurrection. One thing about the aliens, and I'll finish the stream. It will be done for the night, and then I'll go live on Friday evening, or Friday, during the daytime. pick up on that. Right. Gray aliens, sometimes called Zeta Reticulians, Roswell Greys, or just Greys, are defined by their humanoid forms, long limbs, and large black eyes, small noses, and thin mouths. Of course, gray skin or gray clothing. They are some of the pop culture's most recognizable representations of extraterrestrial life. Greys appear in sci-fi's 2021 science fiction Dream Day series Resident Alien. The Greys appear as an antagonistic faction in 2023 independent game of Grey Hill Incident. And they got some salt too. Some salt too. Gray aliens are also referred to as Zeta Reticulians. Roswell Greys are simply Greys are purported extraterrestrial beings. They are frequent subjects, close encounters, and alien abduction claims. The details of which vary widely. Greys are typically described as having small humanoid bodies, smooth gray skin, purportedly large hairless heads, and large black almond shaped eyes. The Barney and Betty Hill abduction claim, which purportedly took place in New Hampshire in 1961, popularized the gray aliens. Precursor figures have been described in science fiction, and similar descriptions appeared in later accounts of the 1947 Roswell UFO incident and early accounts of the 1948 Aztec UFO hoax. The gray alien had emerged as an archetypical image of an intelligent, non human creature, extraterrestrial life in general, as well as iconic trope, popular culture of the age of space exploration. And also with these things, they act very robotic. Also, this is the constellation they come from. They come from these places. Allegedly, those may not believe it. Yeah, it's very cool the different depictions of the the constellations that they come from. Very fascinating. And they came all the way over here for something, and it caused people confusion because the technology they have is way more advanced. Scared. Yeah, because I always like looking at the night sky and imagining because there's different these life forms out there that possibly might be watching and observing us because there's these people that have these different cameras that depict the sky, and in this night sky with these night cameras. And Duke, you were saying that you've seen some things before in the sky. I have too. You could see these kind of UFO type things flying around. It's very interesting. We're not quite sure exactly what they are. Some things we might know they're satellites, some may not be satellites. All right. So that is like a depiction of the aliens going through a portal going to us. All right. All right. So that will be concluding the live stream for you know tonight, but I'll be going live again on Friday and the evening. That day, Friday, which is right now. But I'll be going live again on Friday and around 7 p.m. Central, and it'll be like y'all would see the notification for it, and maybe earlier, possibly. I might do it earlier than that. It might be a surprise stream earlier. But yeah, so I'm glad that y'all have come here and chill with me, and those that are seeing the replay also. I appreciate y'all for that. And everybody have a great Easter and a great, and a good Friday and Holy Week for those that celebrate it. Happy holidays to those that don't celebrate it. And peace.